Greetings, Neuse Little Pod listeners. This is your host, Matt Gore, reminding you to please like, follow, subscribe, and share the podcast on your available podcast apps such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and any other podcast app you can think of. Share our episodes on Facebook and let us know what you think with a comment or review. Now, please enjoy the show. Good evening and welcome to Neuse Little Podcast. This is an audio program talking about the backstage antics and stories of running a small town community theater on the banks of the Neuse River located in Smithfield, North Carolina. We lovingly refer to the old girl as the Hut. We hope you enjoy. Good evening and welcome. Please let the dulcet tones of Neuse Little Podcast invade your evening. We are here with another new episode for you. We have a new show coming up, and we are about to give you the dates. The show is Things My Mother Taught Me, and it is a comedy by Catherine DiSavino. And the dates for that show are going to be March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd, which is the Sunday 3 o'clock matinee, next Friday at April 7th, and then Saturday at April 8th. So we got 5 shows for you. They all start at 8 o'clock, except for the 3 o'clock matinee on Sunday. Please come down and reserve a ticket. Please call 919-934-1873 and just tell us how many people. Oh, and we are also accepting credit cards now, finally. I heard we had our first customer on the last show.
We did, but only by necessity.
Only by necessity. Yes, the guy came in and goes, I think I'm the first person to ever use a credit card in the Neuse Little Theater. I'm like, you very well may be, sir. First of many. All right, now we have the cast here today. Now we have a packed house here for you, just like we did the last episode. So we're going to do our best to keep track of everybody. We realize that this may be more than audio sensory is able to take in all at once, but we'll do our best. Okay,
yeah,
so
get your pencils and paper out and take notes.
Yes. There's going to be homework. There's going to be a quiz at the end of this. I guess I should go ahead and say what the show is about, but since Mina's right here, I'm going to let her do it first.
Oh, okay. It is a young couple who are moving to Chicago from New York, and they've been together for about 7 years, and they are going to move in together for the first time and live together. And he has invited both sets of parents to come and help, and basically chaos ensues, but it all ends happily ever after.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I'm trying not to give away too much.
No, it's okay. It sounds like a romantic comedy, right? Just something light, something fun, that's something the whole family can enjoy. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. To my left here, let's start with the cast. I have.
Hi, I'm Ruffino, and I'm playing Olivia.
Okay, and then
Julia Kapke, I am playing Lydia.
Marz McCallister, I'm playing Gabe.
Will Snow, I'm playing Wyatt.
Dan Ruffino, and I'm playing Carter.
Angela Arant, and I am playing Karen.
all right. So as I said, we've got a lot of people in here, but I'm going to do my best to try and even it out and ask you guys questions as we go along. So this play, it seems pretty on the light side. It seems like is it kind of a coming of age story? Is it kind of a Father of the Bride type of situation? Well, how would you describe it, Ty?
I would say this is like a next chapter kind of story, basically, where it's like it's a new chapter for a couple.
Well, then let me ask you more specifically. Then, like from your character's perspective, what is the story? What are they doing? Where do they start out in the story, and where do they end up?
Well, in the story, basically, Olivia, she just wants everything to go great. And she's trying her best to keep... It's her first apartment with her boyfriend that she's been together with for 7 years. And she's trying her best to keep everything on track. And, everything, like, wrenches get thrown into the plans. And she's trying her best to just keep calm and keep it going. That does not work. So she has to, like, adapt to how the wrenches are being thrown at.
Okay, and you play the love interest, right?
The love interest.
Are they married? I'm sorry.
No, they're dating.
Okay, so she's the one that tries to keep it all together, as opposed to you. What are you? What is your function in this relationship?
A bit of a what is the word I'm looking for? The comedy relief. I said the story is it's a modern romance. it has a touch of a slice of life to it. However, a slice of life in which dramatic events unfold.
Okay.
You see.
All right. So, Julia, which character? Remind me again who you play.
I play Lydia, and she is Gabe's mother.
Okay. There's 2 sets of parents, correct? And so they all end up in Chicago at one point, right?
Yes.
Why does your character go to Chicago?
Because she wants to see her son and help with efforts in the move, and just try to see that things are taken care of with her son.
Is she like fastidious? Is she or is she like the easygoing?
She's goofy, and she's very anal about cleaning. So
Yeah.
yes.
I can understand that. You are a woman of many talents. You've been in stuff here before as an actress, but you've also done several pieces for us for painting.
Yes.
So have you done any on this show? Any plans for that?
No, well, no.
And remind me where you hail from. You've been with us for a number. You were here pre-pandemic, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I was in the 2019 show Father Knows Best.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. I remember hearing like Julia Kapke. I know this person, but I'm glad to have you finally on the podcast.
Thank you.
So, now, Will.
Yes.
You play her other half.
I do. I play Wyatt.
Okay. What is your function in this conglomerate of family here?
I think my function in all of this is to ensure that my wife isn't going to have some form of a nervous breakdown, because she's constantly thinking everything is dirty, and she's OCD in a very bad way. My character is really just the opposite. Like, he just doesn't want to be bothered. He wants to eat and he wants to drink beer. That is it.
Okay.
That's it.
Fair enough. So you're like the calming presence.
Yes, or I try to be as best as I can, but I always seem to be caught in the middle, even though I don't want to be. So I'm constantly trying to get out of that middle position and trying to get out of the room, or trying to, just you all can handle it.
Where do you hail from?
I'm originally from Bath, Maine, so I came here in 2020, so it was kind of almost post-pandemic, so I kind of figured out where I was, and I've been waiting for a while to do my first show here, and so this is my first show and my first cast, and these guys are great.
So, Dan, you play whose father in this in all this menagerie?
So I'm playing Olivia's father in the whole deal. We show up as a surprise as well to be part of the whole fun of them moving in. And I think it's an interesting mix of all 4 of us, because if you look, all 4 of us have really different personalities. And of course, the young couple has to deal with all 4 of those personalities. And my character and Wyatt, we are kind of like bosom buddies. We're a little bit goofy together, and we just want to kind of stay out of the way of all the drama that might be happening with the women. So that's kind of our mission in a lot of ways. We just kind of get out of the way, or move out of the way, or find something to go do.
That's right.
So the men team up against the women?
Absolutely. Well, in our own way.
We team up to get away from the women, or to get away from all responsibility, or get away from anything at all happening.
Well, what's your response to that, Angela?
Well,
I
think that I'm drug into this kind of not really knowing what to expect. I'm very critical, and I think I love my daughter very much, but I'm very worried about her and moving in with her love interest.
Are you saying your character's mean?
I'm having to channel my inner Karen to play this role.
Because you seem awful. You seem like I just met you like literally 10 minutes ago, but you seem like a very sweet person. So you haven't like.
Well, thank you.
So tell me how you got here, Angela.
So I came to a play several years ago with a good friend of mine, and we decided we were going to do a play together. It never happened, and I randomly, a couple of months ago, came to get a program to look, because I wanted to drag my husband to a play, or my co-workers to a play, and the next thing I know, I'm auditioning for said play. So it's on my bucket list. It's been on my bucket list since my friend and I came.
So this is your first play?
My very first play.
Well, from a brand new... Is it your first play, Marz?
This is not my first play.
Okay.
I was in Harvey in 2019 before the pandemic. And
Okay.
things slowed.
Where was that at?
In Harnett Regional Theater.
Okay, yeah. HRT. Yeah, I've seen some shows there. Yeah, for sure. They're doing Little Mermaid now, which our own Greg Hill was cast as Sebastian in. So, congratulations, Greg. So what is it like from a new person's eyes? Because all this is like thrown at you. Because I saw you earlier today. I'm like, this lady probably hasn't been on a podcast where you were just like a deer in headlights.
That's what I feel like. It's funny because they'll talk about things like the podcast, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but tell me when to be there, and I will be there.
Is this what you expected?
I don't know what I expected, but
There's going to be a podcast. Just be there at a certain time.
just be there. So, yes.
I'm always interested in like brand new people's perspective because they have like the freshest take. You know, they haven't let the place corrupt them yet, in a good way. Sometimes. All right, so let's go. So Ty and Marz, it seems like this is a play where you guys are having to juggle all these people and all these personalities. Now, from your perspective, out of these four, who is the most difficult one?
Character-wise or actor-wise?
I'm the most difficult actor.
Yeah, let's not cause a problem.
No doubt about it.
Ouch.
Yeah, let's for today, Mita, on this podcast, let's just say character-wise.
Character-wise, I'm going to say it's Olivia and Karen for the fact that though they have very similar personalities to the fact where they clash.
Oh, so they fight. They don't get along?
They don't get along.
Yeah.
She has a different perspective on life than Karen does.
Like what? What kind? Like how?
So Karen is a very careful mother. She's been telling her daughter for years to, hey, be careful with dating men. Don't make my mistakes. Blah 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 blah. Don't be like me. And she's like, Mom, I've got this. I can do this. It's fine. Trust me. Well, Karen really doesn't trust her daughter in that aspect.
So Karen
Is
Me.
So is that true? Do you think that's true? That you don't trust your daughter to make the right decision yet?
I guess you could say I don't trust her. It's that I'm worried for her. It's not that I don't trust her. It's just I'm worried for her, and I want better for her than I don't want her to have the heartache of what I had with past experiences.
Okay. All right. Well, without revealing too much about the play, so you don't want to make the same mistakes you did,
Right.
and go down a path that you might be able to not come back from. I understand that. So, Marz, from your perspective, who's the most difficult parent?
Well, it's hard to say because there's a lot of character development that happens within a short amount of time. Perspectives change, like the parents' perspectives change in certain ways. This play does a really good job of showing how parental wisdom can be imparted onto children in two different ways, in the father's way and the mother's way. Kind of two sides of the same coin, if you will.
So, what would you say, Dan? What would your perspective be in that situation?
I don't know. I won't say that we don't get involved, but as the fathers, we just sort of observe more than anything, and we kind of support our wives. Like, my character is not really in line with Karen all the time, but he seems to be just along for the ride at times. But he's still supportive of his daughter. He's supportive of his wife. But it's like we've learned, because I'm sure there's a backstory to a lot of the arguments that happen, a lot of the conversation that happen between those two. And it seems like the husbands have learned we just need to get out of the way when it happens. And we just kind of do our own thing, but we're hanging out and kind of keeping an eye to see when we should jump in. So our characters are kind of different in the aspect that they don't always directly interact with them because they're kind of just trying to stay out of the disaster.
So you get to like kind of sit on the sidelines and crack wise, I guess is what you're trying to say.
Well, sometimes we get dragged in and we don't want to be. So I'm sure he can explain it too. But.
Like from your perspective, what is that like, Will?
Well, I really me and my son get along very well. I'm very excited to see him. I'm constantly trying to not make him panic because he tends to get very uptight. So I'm like, son, don't just relax. So I'm always trying to make everybody relax. So I think our relationship as father and son is really tight. I think we can have beers together. We like to go and hang out together. So ultimately, this is my only son, and I just love him to death. So I'm just trying to make sure that it's easy for him to transitionalize from one thing to the next without his mother driving him crazy.
So to cap that off, Julia, what is your function in that situation?
Lydia fusses over her son. I mean, he is the world, and she does everything, to get after him, make sure, he has everything he needs, helping him do this, that, and the other, and just maybe helicopter parenting.
Yeah.
And it drives him nuts.
Well, I guess that leads into my next question, because helicopter parenting is a semi modern term. Is this play a modern play, or have you guys set it in a period?
It's modern.
Okay, so you guys, it's like a modern everyday play. So yeah, I guess helicopter parenting would be an apt comparison. All right, so let's talk about let's hand it over to Mita, because we do have the director here, and she's sitting to my left, as she always is on these podcasts. But I'm going to turn it over to Mita here, and I want you to tell me, Mita, what it's like directing these guys.
Oh God, this is where I get in trouble every time. No, it's been really good. They, amazingly enough, we have a very short rehearsal schedule for the show. We actually are about a week shy of what we normally would do for a show. And I was worried when I put when they needed to be off their books and trying to remember stuff, but they tried to do it early, and they were very successul early. And last night we were the first time we were off book, and they did very well. Yes. And I was very impressed. And they didn't call for lines very much. I mean, it was me mostly calling lines. I mean, I had to give them lines, but I don't remember them doing a whole lot of line calls. And that's inside jargon for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. But no, it's been very good. I've been very impressed. Particularly, I've got new people on stage. I've got new people to the stage. I've got people who got parts that are the biggest part they've ever had before, and everybody stepped up to the plate and has been working really hard on it. So I can't really ask for much better than that. I would rather have people who work really, really hard to do a good job than people who are good doing a half-assed job. So.
Come on, give us some dirt. Come on.
She speaks the truth.
And you guys have got about let's see, today's Tuesday, so you guys got about a week and a half to go to really put all the finishing touches on it before you guys open. And so she mentioned that this is a lot of you guys' first show here or your biggest show here. And we got 1, 2, 3 brand new people that have never been in a Neuse Little Theater show. Is that correct? Never been in a show. All right. And then we have the other 3 who have been in shows before. So what are some of the other shows you've been in here, Dan?
Let's see. I was in, of course, Wait Until Dark, which you directed.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Anti-Mame. And I also did, what was it when I did? Dracula Bites, and Tony Pender directed that. I don't know if you guys have had him here before. I think I did 2 others, but for
Elephant
some reason,
Size.
Elephant Size. Oh, thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt knows what I was in.
I don't, but I did.
That just popped out. Though.
Also, weren't you in Lion State?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, you guys know the shows better than I do. Yeah. So I've been in, I guess, 7 or so, maybe here.
Well, that's good. We're happy to have you back. And Ty. So I know you were. I can't remember which shows you were in before. So you're gonna have to forgive me on that. But which ones?
I was in Bridge of Terabithia.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and then I dabbled in the theater camp, the kids' theater camp that we did. That's pretty much all I've done here.
So you got a lot of lines like for this play, right?
This is my first lead.
Well,
and I'm very nervous, but I'm very excited that Mita gave me the opportunity.
Well, I gotta say, because you say it's a modern play, and you guys do look like a modern couple. So how does that affect your performance? The idea of the quote unquote modern couple.
Well, I actually relate to Olivia a little bit with her personality, because I can be like that a lot sometimes. My mom is the one who has to calm me down and be like, "Hey, everything's okay," and I'm usually in a tizzy about something. So I can relate to Olivia a lot in that sense.
And how, from your perspective, Marz, like the idea of the quote unquote modern couple, how does that factor into this particular performance that you're trying to give?
It felt very natural.
But Julia, so since I got you here, what made you come here for the very first time?
Oh, I had a raging withdrawal from being active in community theater.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I had to scratch the itch, as it were, and I just went for it, and I absolutely loved it.
What'd you do in Indiana?
Same thing. Well, I started 16 years ago at a community theater in Brazil, Indiana. It's community theater.
So funny. That was hilarious.
Not the country.
Wow. When you said Brazil, everybody's head went. And then when you said Indiana, they went.
And being from Brazil, we get it all the time. But community theater, Clay County, shout out. I cut my teeth there, and I debuted as Lola in Damn Yankees back in 2007. Yeah, one of my favorite roles. And
Yeah.
so I was in a lot of shows there. I started my set painting skills there, and just kept it going. So.
Well, we are happy to have you. We have wonderfully talented set painters here with Anita and Bridget, but they ain't going to be able to do it forever, and we need people to come in and try to help them out and stuff like that. What are your expectations for the show when you open in a week? What do you now I know it's easy to say we want people to laugh, but I mean a little bit more than that. What are you hoping to convey? Go ahead, Ty.
I want people to relate, especially the older crowd, to relate to the parents more than, the younger people. But I want them to relate more to the parents and how, if, they have children, or how they, not react, but, worked with their children, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. It's like I would like people to walk away and just have that sense of humor and look back on those moments and be able to laugh at themselves. It's like, oh yeah, I can relate to that moment right now. And if I watched myself in that moment, it would probably be hilarious. Mm-hmm. So, and absolutely, so it's very heartwarming in areas, but mostly just being able to laugh at yourself.
Yeah. We'll start with you, Angela. We'll meet it back. Put you on the spot. There's a deer in the headlights again.
Don't panic.
What are you? Do you have friends and family coming to see the show?
Yes,
So, what are they excited?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
They've
what are
been
you hoping?
supportive.
What are you hoping to convey this weekend? What are your expectations?
I don't know that I've really thought about that. My personal expectations is that I don't totally forget every line and stand there like a deer in the headlights.
Well, your daughter's going to see it, right?
My daughter will see it.
There you go.
I have said that my relationship with my daughter, a lot of times when I'm running lines, it's very, I can draw from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, yeah.
There's a reservoir of emotions there you can draw from.
Yes.
That's good. So, what are your expectations, Dan, going into the opening weekend?
Very, very much the same as everybody's saying. I think of all the parents and even the kids involved, I think everybody can relate to a family situation. I love when we have these kind of family plays because it's not a foreign subject to everybody. But they'll definitely sit in the audience and go, "Oh man, I say that to my kid," or "Oh, my mom and dad said that to me." So I think also it's going to help maybe bring up some reminiscing to a family, because family is so important in our community. So it's going to be kind of interesting for people to see themselves, so to speak, on stage. You go, oh, that's me right there. And the parents are all so different, and of course so are the kids. They're gonna relate to something and somehow, and it's just the way it is. We're all different types of parents in this thing, and I really think that the writer did an interesting thing there by making the personalities of the four parents so different and how they do it, because we really can relate to all of them in some way. You'll see parts of your parents probably in there, or yourself in there, or whatever. So I just hope people take that away when they go.
All right. And you will?
I really hope to bring a little comic relief to the show, so that you can actually, get a laugh. But what I think want people to take away from is, when we have kids, and I have 3 of my own, we all have an expectation of what we think is going to happen when they get older and who they're going to marry and what they're going to do. But things just don't always work out that way. So we have to be able to sort of be okay with what our children choose, even if we don't necessarily agree with that. So somewhere meeting in the middle. being able to, as parents, accept what our children are deciding and what we're not deciding.
Speaking of meeting in the middle, I saved the best for last. Marz?
Such great answers. I don't know how to follow up. I suppose the goal would be to make each audience member feel like a fly on the wall in the middle of a very real moment in the young couple's life. Was that too far away?
No, you're good. Okay. I can work with that. And I do want to say that we're very lucky here at NLT. And I mean that in a way that things my mother taught me, some people have heard of, but it's not a universally well-known script. I don't think I'm out of bounds in saying that, right? But that's what makes it interesting, because we here at NLT can do 5 shows per season that may not be the most well-known plays in the world. Everyone is not going to be Oklahoma, Annie, Music Man, Damn Yankees. Damn Yankees is great, but I don't want to see it every year, And there's other community theaters that don't have that luxury, where it's like, we got to do a musical, we got to do something with kids, and then maybe a play. And then when they say play, they mean The Odd Couple, Steel Magnolias, every play you've seen 100 times before at different places. Mm-hmm. So I do want to say I appreciate NLT so much for that. Mm-hmm. That we can do something like Things My Mother Taught Me, or Monte Carlo, or Liberty Valance, or any other thing like that, and have wide variety. Mm-hmm. So please come see the romantic comedy Things My Mother Taught Me by Catherine D. Savino. I got to turn on my preview voice now. The dates are March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd. That's the Sunday matinee at 3, and then Friday, April 7th, and then Saturday, April 8th. Saturday, April 8th. All right, and we also want to toss out these other dates while we have you. We got the Liberty Valance auditions coming up April 3rd and 4th. And that is a drama, and that's based on the movie. The script for the play is by Jethro Compton. And it has 6 speaking male parts, plus 1 female lead part. So that's 7 speaking parts total, but there's also townspeople. So if you're ever not sure about being in a play, this is the one to come out for, because there will be several townspeople that don't have lines, or in some cases might have 1 or 2. So, and it does also have a flexible schedule if you want to be those townspeople. It won't require a heck of a lot of commitment. So, I want to say thank you to everyone here. Thank you, Tyne, Julia, Marz, Will, Dan, and Angela. And also in the cast is Jules McCallister, right? Mm-hmm. So we had her on the last podcast. She couldn't be here today, but she is also, and who does she play? Max. All right. So please come see this wonderful cast that's been working very hard on this play for you. And thanks again. And for Neuse Little Podcast, I'm Matt Gore, and we will see you on the next one.
Peace out.
I say see you on the next one to mess with their heads.
What? You can see us?
Credits for the show. Your host and creator is Matt Gore. That's me. My producer and editor is Mita Toole.
That's me.
Music is by Cody Walker. Please go look up Cody on Cody Walker Music on YouTube, and he's also on Cody Walker Music on Facebook as well. He's local, so and he's got a couple of albums out. Easy listening, John Denver type of guitar voice, that Cody Walker. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.